Have you ever heard the story of Miss Koi Koi? You know, the one about the teacher whose ghost still haunts schools at night. If you've ever been to a boarding school in Nigeria, I'm sure you've heard her name. But do you know who she really was? Let me tell you her story. Her real name was Grace Naji. She was a young teacher about 28 years old, and she was beautiful, very beautiful. People used to say she looked like a queen. She had smooth skin, long hair, and a smile that could brighten anyone's day. But there was one thing about her that everyone noticed: her red shoes. They were shiny, high-heeled shoes that made a koi-koi sound whenever she walked. Miss Grace loved teaching. She worked at St. Mary's Girls' Secondary School, a boarding school in Lagos. The students loved her because she was kind and patient. She always encouraged them to work hard and dream big. But some of the senior girls didn't like her. They said she was too strict because she didn't tolerate bad behavior. The other teachers didn't like her either. They were jealous of her beauty and how popular she was. They spread rumors about her, saying she was trying to get the principal's attention. But Miss Grace ignored them. All she wanted was to teach and make a difference in the lives of her students. What people didn't know was that Miss Grace had a very sad past. She grew up in a poor family. Her father didn't believe in sending girls to school. He used to say, "What's the point? She'll just get married and become someone's housewife." But her mother believed in her. She sold everything she had just to pay for Grace's education.
Grace promised her mother that she would become a teacher and help children, especially girls who didn't have anyone to fight for them. And she did. But life wasn't fair to her. One day, some senior girls decided to sneak out of the dormitory at night to meet boys in the village. Miss Grace caught them and warned them that she would report them to the principal. The girls were scared and angry. They decided to punish her. That night, when everyone was asleep, the girls sneaked into Miss Grace's quarters. They dragged her out and took her to an empty classroom. They mocked her, called her names, and slapped her. Then one of them, a marker, pushed her. Miss Grace fell and hit her head on the edge of a table. Blood started pouring from her head. The girls panicked. They didn't mean to kill her, but it was too late. Miss Grace wasn't moving. "We can't let anyone know," a marker whispered. They carried her body out of the school compound and dumped it in a nearby bush. They cleaned the classroom and went back to their dormitory as if nothing had happened. The next morning, the school was in chaos. Miss Grace was missing. The principal called the police, but no one knew what had happened to her. The girls who were involved pretended not to know anything. But then strange things started happening. At night, students began hearing the sound of high heels clicking in the hallways. At first, they thought it was their imagination, but then some of them claimed to see a woman in a blood-stained dress walking through the school. Her face was pale, and blood dripped from her forehead. One by one, the girls who had hurt Miss Grace started having nightmares. They said she appeared in their dreams, asking them,
"Why did you do this to me?"
Some of them claimed to hear her voice even when they were awake. Amaka, the ringleader, was the first to lose her mind. She would wake up in the middle of the night screaming,
"She's here. She's coming for me. She will kill us all."
The other girls tried to calm her, but they were scared too. Then, one night, Amaka disappeared. No one saw her leave the dormitory, but the next morning her clothes and shoes were found outside the school gate. Her body was never found. After that, the school became a place of fear. The sound of Miss Koi Koi's heels became a regular thing. Students and even teachers reported hearing it late at night. Some said they saw her standing at the end of the hallway, staring at them with dark, empty eyes. The school eventually shut down, but the story didn't end there. People started saying that Miss Koi Koi's spirit had moved to other schools. They said she only appears in schools where students are disrespectful or mean. I remember my own experience with her. I was in secondary school when it happened. One night I forgot my notebook in the dormitory during prep. I sneaked out of the class to go get it. The hallways were dark and silent. As I walked, I suddenly heard it. My heart was beating so fast I thought it would burst. Then I saw her. She was standing at the other end of the hallway, wearing her red heels and a blood-stained dress. Her eyes were staring right at me. I don't remember what happened next. I woke up in the school clinic. They said I fainted. But even now, years later, I can still hear the sound of her heels in my dreams. So, now you know the story of Miss Koi Koi. Remember, this isn't just a story, it's a warning. If you ever hear the sound of high heels clicking in an empty hallway at night, don't stop. Don't turn around. Just run. Because Miss Koi Koi might be closer than you think.